this 3.9 billion is like probably peanuts to them. When you got cash on hand, you can make plays like this.
In this kind of down market, this is when big businesses, especially Amazon, can really start getting things for a bargain.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another episode of the Select All podcast. I'm Taran, the Dough Builder. We got Mohammed in the house, Mohammed, the grumpy engineer, and we got Ali, the marketer. All right, you probably noticed Kulwinder is not here today. He is dealing with a sickness, but it's going to be us three amigos leading the pod. So on deck for today, we're going to be talking about an app that can help you with getting rid of those unwanted meetings and making your time more efficient. The app's called Loom, so we're going to dive into that shortly. And then we're going to dive into what's hot, and we're going to talk about Amazon's latest deal of closing a primary care provider called One Medical. So that's going to be interesting. We're going to dive into that as well. So let's kick it off with Loom.
All
Mo,
right.
screen share. All right. So Loom is an interesting app. I've been using it for quite a bit in the work that I do, and essentially what it is, it's if you are looking to convey a message to your teammate, and this makes more sense in the remote environment that we're in for a lot of the workplaces these days. Um, if you're trying to get a message across or you're trying to send something to your teammate, usually you would just hop on Zoom or you'd hop on a meeting app and then meet with that person and then convey that message. But a lot of the time, you end up wasting a lot of time because it's not just you hop on the meeting and you let them know what the problem is. You got to get through saying hello, how's it going, how's your day. So, what if there's a way to eliminate that and just get the point right across? And this is where Loom comes into play because what it does, it allows you to record a video message. And what's neat about it is when you record the message, you can share your screen and have your camera on, or you can just share your screen. Um, and you can when you're done recording the message, it actually saves on the cloud, so it doesn't save locally, which is pretty neat. And right away it gives you a link, a web link, to then send to the person you want to send the message to. I really like using it. I find it very useful. um yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, Ali and Mo.
Yeah.
So I,
No, go ahead.
I was my first I had started was using QuickTime, which comes with Mac and like screen recording. Then I had to figure out like hosting the video with a whole
Yeah.
mess. And then I eventually moved to like ClickUp, which was like it lets me screen record. It's like our to-do list app. But a few months ago, I discovered that ClickUp in its like fine print, it's like we may only store your video for like up to 6 months or something. And some of these videos are like long term. So I'm like, oh, I need to get off this platform because like I don't have to re-record these every 6 months if they decide to delete them. So
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so I've been using Loom. Yeah, it's definitely great. So it is useful for yeah, sending like here's where you find this or something like that. But I wouldn't say like I think they also use that term asynchronous meetings on their website. I've seen it. I wouldn't say it's fully asynchronous meetings because when there's back and forth, video meetings will take forever still. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that makes total sense. Like if you're trying to actually have a conversation, then it's probably best you get on a meeting. But
Yeah.
if it's like a one-off, you have this quick problem, you need a quick answer to it, or you have
Mhm.
a quick question that you need answered, then you throw it on a Loom video, and then you can either the other party can either then say, okay, let's hop on a meeting, or or they may text you the answer, message you the answer, and then it saves time that way. But yeah, I totally get it. If it's a situation where you have to have a conversation, then it's probably best to
Yeah.
do it over video.
I
I
don't
mean,
even like. I think it's the wider. What this is the first time I'm hearing about this product, and I'm kind of kicking myself for not hearing about it earlier because like I think there's a wider use case outside of just a quick question or a comment. Like for my work, I have to do a lot of like
demo.
reviewing. No, not demo reviews, like design reviews between what like a designer for our website would present and then like I would have to digest it in terms of building the front end for this website, and then I have to also like have a conversation with the back end and how that works, because sometimes it's just like the designer has one idea of how the app works and the back end has a different idea, and I'm just trying to sort out the threads between these two different parties. But like
Mhm.
obviously getting time between these three different parties, and they have wildly different schedules and they're all busy, like just finding a focused review time is sometimes very difficult. So having
Mhm.
this where the designer can like present, hey, this is what I'm doing, I can review it, go through it, ask my questions to the design team, and then also pin my questions to the back end, seeing like, oh, this component does this thing, is this what the backend is going to actually return to me? Because if I want to show this to the client or the custom, or sorry, the user, then like you will need to provide me this data. And then something was like, oh no, we haven't thought about it, like let me get back to you. And it like it allows all sides of this conversation to like be a part of this review, but integrate it into their own schedules.
Yeah, yeah, and that's an amazing point that you made, Mo, because that's actually uh, I use that aspect of it a lot for that reason because I do a lot of presentations in my work, and on top of what you said, not just with the collaboration and people being able to do it on their own schedules, but also it eliminates situations where you go on Zoom and have the meeting, you do it over a meeting, and then you're like, wait, what did that guy say again?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that what he said? And it eliminates that right away because you can just replay the video or replay a part of the video again to capture what was said. And it's very useful for that. And to what you said, you see a part of the presentation and you can ask a question. You can actually ask that question right on the video.
Yep.
It has a comment space right below it where you can throw in the question and they'll timestamp it to that point in the video as well. So it really makes it efficient that way.
Yeah, I got two more comments. It's like one is like also just cross collaborating across time zone, like that's a big thing. Like I have a lot of
Yeah.
coworkers in India or in Europe, they have different schedules, right? And like if I'm
Yeah.
trying to help someone with their problem, like trying to find a time for me to look at it, and it's like a 2 minute solution. It's like, as you said, like a quick question, like just getting the time to sync together or have the conversation is sometimes hard. So yeah, another huge use case is like across time zone collaboration. But what I'm really surprised is why doesn't like Google or Zoom already support this? Like the
Well,
biggest.
Slack. I was looking into it. Slack has an option to send like voice and video, but I think the negative there would be that I'm assuming it's integrated into that like the platform, and you can't send the link to somebody outside of
Yeah, I think the advantage of Loom is like it's a async. It's purposely built to be async, so you can like mark specific time spots or mark specific content within the video, right? Like, can you do that on Slack?
I have no. I don't even. We use Google G Suite internally, so I have no. I was
As
just.
yeah, G Suite, like they have other collaboration. Like you can comment on a document or even a spreadsheet. You can't comment on the video,
Even
right?
Google Chat, whatever, you can even send voice messages. If I ever want to do a voice message, I have to like, record a whole video. So yeah, I'll be interested to see how Slacks works and if it has links for you to like send it to other people outside of Slack. Because I use
Mhm.
Loom, I'll say like 50% internally and 50% externally, or I'm like sending something to like a client or somebody like to see it.
Yeah, as a product, I'm excited to use it. As a business, I really wonder how it's going to survive once like Google Video, all these other video providers realize like, okay, this is what people want. Like we
Yeah.
already provide the end-to-end meeting and like experience. Let's just integrate this because I'm it's using the same technology back end, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
really I'm kind of skeptical as to how long Loom and all these other async video providers will last.
I think Loom is pretty, I think, embedded. Oh, but yeah, you never know. Yeah, once Google like you're a big enough.
Yeah, it's been. It's been around for quite a bit, but at the same time, like for example, you didn't know about it, Mo, so I guess it hasn't been around for that long.
Yes.
Because I'd see it being useful in the software engineering world as well, even for when you guys are, like you mentioned, like your reviews and stuff, or even for simple situations where you need help on
Hmm.
a aspect of the code that you're writing,
Yeah. No,
right?
my comment was like, how is it going to survive if Slack implements this, if Google implements it, if Microsoft Teams implements this? Like, once this kind of commenting and asynchronous features are implemented on all these other meeting platforms, like, what's Loom's value?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. But at the same time, these other apps haven't implemented something similar to
Hmm.
this day. At least none that I know of.
I think they might just be working on other things. Like for example, Amazon, I think recently just purchased one clinic,
One medical,
one
one
medical.
medical. Yeah. Um, like we were just reading about the, I guess, purchase document. It's like a couple of billion, which in this downturn market is not a small sum. I mean, even in a big like bull market, it's pretty big.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
it's
not even like a name. Like I've never heard of one medical before.
it. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think it's also like they're trying to break into the American medical space because that's where the money is. And
Yeah.
if Amazon is known for anything, it's making money. But I think it's interesting because it's the first time, as far as I'm aware, of a big tech giant purchasing a direct medical provider. Right? We always had like
Yeah,
adjacent technology, like they marketed their health solution as like a technology solution, right? Like Google with their watches, same with Apple. Like Apple watches have a bunch of health features, but it's not. They kind of market it as a health thing, but it's not like a medical care provider like device. It's a tech device and it's a fitness device. It's not medical, like it doesn't provide you medical care. But this is Amazon going directly into the medical services field, which is interesting. I'm really interested to see what their play is on this. I wonder if they'll use this clinic and they'll also push out like some, I don't know, health collecting features on whatever their devices is and try to integrate that into their clinical services. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I don't think it's just that. It's not only that, but it's also it'll have direct connection to their purchase of that pharmacy
Mm-hmm.
pill pack back in 2018. Um, so it'll be definitely definitely the two things are going to be connected because um, if any pharmaceutical products or drugs are needed, guess what? They're gonna get it from the other
Yeah.
company. So they're gonna be working hand in hand for sure, and it's definitely something that I never would have seen Amazon diving into, but they seem to be taking it really seriously.
Another
So
dark horse, like I guess synergy. I hate that word, but is say you're being prescribed like pills for your fiber or your diet's terrible and your doctor's telling you like you have high cholesterol, you can either buy cholesterol from like whatever pill provider that Amazon bought, or we'll give you a discount to what's the grocery store that they bought?
uh,
Yes,
Whole
you can
Foods.
get a discount to Whole Foods on your vegetables.
Oh
That
man.
it's like from a business perspective, it's really interesting. Like, wow, they can do that. As a personal thing, that's scary.
And while you're at
Yeah.
that, we'll give you a 1 month free subscription to
Yes,
Prime.
if you're
Yeah.
not already subscribed, you know.
And the vacuum
Yeah.
iRobot.
Like it's like yeah, it's like the doctor's. Like, I can see the iRobot, your Roomba videos, dude. Like you're not moving around the house. Like
Yeah.
Oh
But yeah, no, I
man.
think it's a push towards that center. Like my capstone project was like an EHR, electronic health record, and I think that push to just having everything central, like you were saying with like your watch, like as soon as you if you wear your watch, as soon as you walk into your clinic, the doctor already knows everything about you, you
Mhm.
know, or at least a lot more information. Um, so I definitely see the
Hmm.
value for sure.
What if what if they start selling health insurance? They are the health provider, they are the food provider. Um, like, what's next? Like, yeah, insurance.
They're getting into every space. Yeah. I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, Americans need to get health insurance. Now they have your full medical data. They can give you an accurate price on what it'll cost to insure you.
Absolutely.
They can be sure what kind of drugs you're taking because their doctors are prescribing. It sounds very interesting, but I think back in the 90s, Microsoft played this monopoly game like on a smaller level, and they got knocked down hard for like anti competition, or I forget what but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Or
what it
yes,
is.
antitrust. Thanks. um Antitrust. And
Anti.
I'm hoping like American politicians are going to be strong enough to do the same thing for Amazon, because this is not just tech, it's literally your entire life, like your
Yes.
shopping, your health, your job. In a lot of cases, like if you are working at an Amazon warehouse, your
Yeah.
web, like AWS is a huge web provider. Like it's kind of scary. But as a business, I wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
No, no, no.
No,
Talk,
but
talk.
like as an investor in Amazon, like is this something you would be excited about?
As an investor, yeah, I mean, it's another revenue stream, right? If you're looking at it purely from a capitalistic standpoint, you're adding one more revenue stream to the behemoth that is Amazon. And literally, it's like you said, it's creating a one-stop shop for everything. But at the same time, I would still consider uh how it will still play out, because I'm just reading an article on the fly here, and it's talking about how the FTC might still decide to bring a case to unwind the merger or at a later point. So who knows what's going to happen. But as an investor, this sounds great, because they have a lot of cash on hand too, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen their balance sheet in a while, but I'd make a bet that they've got a lot of cash on hand. So it's pro this 3.9 billion is like probably peanuts to them. And when you got cash on hand, you can make
Hmm.
plays like this.
Es-
And as an investor, it's like music to
yeah,
your ears.
especially like in this kind of down market where things are like
Yeah.
this is when big businesses, especially Amazon, can really start getting things for a bargain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where the rich get
Hmm.
richer.
Yeah.
And I guess we're that's all we have to say for this topic. I think this is something where that will start playing out more into the future. Like, I wonder if Microsoft or even Apple. I mean, Apple is allegedly also going to get into health space. They're going to get into like we are seeing big tech kind of invade our lives. But yeah, we'll probably have more to say on this topic in the coming days. Um, to end the episode off, do we have any questions we want to ask our viewers for next week?
Well, did you guys do a question last week or no?
I thought we didn't have a question at that time, but I was hoping we can
How about
freestyle
should we
this one.
relate to One Medical? Like, would you switch medical clinics to One Medical? Do you just keep it all in one place?
Yeah, if this was happening like here, would any of you guys sign up for One Medical, knowing that like Amazon knows everything else about your life?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. Are we gonna we're gonna give out the
Yeah.
answer
Yeah.
next week though, right? All right.
Okay.
All right. And on that note, this has been a good session. Short pod, but we got some good opinions in about the two topics we talked about. And yeah, if anyone has any comments that you'd like to leave, please do. And also make sure you answer the question that we mentioned, whether you would use One Medical or not. Um, if you got any value from this, I'm sure you did. Hit the subscribe button, like the video, and we'll see you next week. Take
Ciao.
care.